But maybe before you do that, like I purchased the Brooklyn Bedding Signature Hybrid. I'm pretty sure that was it, and it's got a decent score on the website. Looks like it is an 8.79. Do you want to just discuss your score a little bit and use something like as an actual example as the Brooklyn Bedding Signature? And if you
Yeah,
need to,
so
I could share my screen.
yeah, 8.79 for that mattress, that price point is fantastic. And so our scores range from 0 to 10, but I think our bottom score is like a 6.0. That's the worst bed I've ever tested. And our top score is something like a 9.79. The average is, I believe, 8.52. So the Brooklyn Bedding with its 8.79 is a good bit above average. I think it's also helpful to think about the scores and with respect to price. Brooklyn Bedding is $1,000 for a queen with an 8.79. I want to say it's like top three or top four based on its pricing tier. So there's only one or two mattresses or three mattresses ahead of it. And one of them is another Brooklyn Bedding mattress. And I think the other is like a Glacier Original and the other is a Boring Hybrid. Those four beds, incredible performers. Any of them would probably be a good fit for you. And so while you could definitely spend more money and get better performance for $1,000, it's a fantastic bed, and it's one that I recommend to a lot of people, especially when people are buying guest bedroom mattresses. I think that's a phenomenal bed.
I'm glad I made it. You heard it here, folks. I'm glad I made the right decision. But for me to get there, instead of just looking at that score, I was researching beds, and then I was researching my bed. And the beds typically have that tag, and it shows like where it's manufactured. So like
Yep.
mine was manufactured in Arizona, someplace in Arizona. And then I was looking at mattresses that were direct to consumer, and they also were manufactured in Arizona. And they had like videos about the workers, and like it seemed like it was like pretty much the same video. And I was like, hold on. And then I was looking up like LLC mattress companies in Arizona. And then I was looking up from there, I was looking up like companies that have large manufacturing presences in Arizona for bedding. And then I ran into the Brooklyn Bedding Company. And that's how I really found like that group was like through this like spider web of researching other companies that had got their stuff manufactured there. And then I found out that Brooklyn Bedding, or I forgot what the exact parent company name is.
3Z is their parent.
Yeah, that owns the Brooklyn Bedding. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. So I was like, okay, well, if I like this bed, then I like this other bed. And then I was doing research on that, and then cross-referencing beds, and then here I am with the Brooklyn Bedding Signature or whatever it is.
Wow, that is a rabbit hole.
That's what I'm saying. That's a lot of work. Like people
Yeah.
are not signing up to do all that, and they potentially get fleeced about some of the beds that I would see that, from what I could understand, and I'm not a bedding expert, but it seemed like they had like similar materials, and like they're manufactured at the same place, and then they're like twice the price. Like that same bed for the same materials, different brand could be $2,500. And so you think that you're getting something much better when you pay for what you get.
Yeah.
But that isn't necessarily true, because I mean beds are complicated, but also on the surface seem to simple. So it's like, oh, I spent a third of my life on this, and like there's like that scary factor, like what if I mess up my sleep, that it messes up my job, I lose my longevity. And then you could just spiral out. But I just thought I would share that snippet of the research I had for the Brooklyn Bedding Signature, which was intense.
It is unfortunately really hard to know sort of, what's a good bed, what's a bad bed. Is this really worth $1,000? Sort of, I'd say the industry at large in the last like 30 years has really kind of gone out of their way to sort of make it more confusing. You would have, mattress models that have similar names, but a little bit different SKUs, a little bit different materials, a little bit different design. If they're offered in Target versus Walmart versus Costco versus any number of other retailers, making it all the more confusing. And I think in addition to that, materials can look similar, right? You can have, let's say, a 10-inch mattress that has 3 inches of foam and a 7-inch coil unit. Okay, well, they look the same, but foam quality is not consistent. It is a massive spectrum of different feel types that determine how they're going to feel on your body, but also quality, how long it's going to last. Same thing applies to the coil unit. So mattresses that look very similar can actually be very different in terms of feel, performance, and longevity, just because the quality and type of those materials is varied.
And what the customer just wants is good sleep. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, I just want a
Yeah.
good sleep score at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. They want to be able to buy with confidence and spend $1,000 and know that bed's going to last, 10 years or so. And I think it's really hard to do that, at least in the US right now.